I'm typically not a big fan when WWE uses material items that isn't something like their WWE titles to enhance or be a major part in a feud. That being said, what the WWE is doing with the Fala right now and its meaning in the Bloodline story is simply incredible to watch. And I do think that the Fala now has a more deeper meaning to it given the recent passing of the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika. And we're currently seeing another feud in WWE that is also being driven heavily by a material item, and that's the Drew McIntyre and CM Punk feud. Obviously, they keep going back and forth about the bracelet that belongs to CM Punk that has his wife's name AJ and their dog Larry on it. Again, typically, I'm not a big fan when WWE uses something like that to either enhance or continue or be a major factor in the storyline. But something that CM Punk said very recently that really, I think, made that work for me was it wasn't the bracelet that he cared about, it was who was on the bracelet. And for me, that really made it feel even more personal than this feud already is. So in this video, we're going to go through what the Fala has meant for this storyline between Roman Reigns and the Bloodline 2.0, and mainly Solo Sikoa. Again, what the WWE is doing with the Fala and incorporating it so heavily into the storyline between Roman Reigns and the Bloodline 2.0 is really, really working for me. Because they've managed to make it feel more important than some of the titles on WWE. It definitely feels more valuable than the Speed title, I'll tell you that much. And I think what's really selling it for me is whenever somebody picks up the Fala and they almost are overcome by what it means to be even holding it, I think is really selling it for me. Back when Roman was still the tribal chief and we were still in his era and he was on God mode and he was walking around with the Fala, every time that Solo Sikoa had the Fala, he would hold it for an extra couple seconds and just kind of stare at it. And you could feel that he was just kind of taken aback by the significance of what it means. And I'm honestly starting to wonder if this was WWE's plan all along, because when Roman Reigns was still champion and he was the head of the table and the tribal chief and he was at the top of his game, a lot of people didn't even know what the Fala was or what it meant to the Samoan culture. And kind of looking back on it, it almost felt like this was WWE's plan all along, trying to make it seem like it was more powerful than what we initially thought it was. Because again, when Roman Reigns would hand it over to Solo, he would literally just kind of hold it and embrace it. And again, at the time, we didn't really think too much about it, but now that we're here, it almost feels like that this is what they've been trying to tell us all along. And very recently, we saw Tamatanga hold it, and he kind of did the same thing that Solo used to do, where he kind of would hold on to it for an extra couple seconds and just kind of look down, and you could feel that he was feeling something. He was feeling the power of what it means to be holding it. And I think that the Fala right now is so important to the Bloodline because the members of the Bloodline 2.0 saw what it did for Roman Reigns and his career and really took it to that next level and established him as one of the greatest of all time. The members of the Bloodline saw that and they want in on the action too. Now that would be something that I'm a little less interested in. I think it would be an okay way to tell the story, but I think the meaning of it has to go deeper than just what it did for Roman Reigns. Earlier, I talked about the passing of the Wild Samoans, Afa and Sika. And while my condolences do go out to that entire family, because I unfortunately know what it's like to lose two loved ones back to back like that, so I can empathize in what they could be possibly going through right now. So my thoughts, my prayers go out to every member of that family. It is just incredibly, incredibly difficult to go through. But I think that their passing kind of fuels this story a little bit more because they were the ones who initially gave the Fala to Roman Reigns after his match at Hell in the Cell 2020. And whether it was on purpose or if it was just coincidence or whatever it may be, but on the most recent episode of Friday Night SmackDown, when Roman Reigns held the Fala up and it kind of formed a heart, man, that is one of the more powerful images that you can find. Again, whether it was intentional or just coincidence? Still an amazing image to see. So again, I think the passing of the Wild Samoans and them passing away unfortunately back to back like this, I think if WWE uses it in a respectful way, which I think they will, then I think it could be a powerful story moving forward for Roman Reigns. Now, unfortunately, we did find out that Roman Reigns was written off TV for the foreseeable future, so we don't know when we're going to see this storyline pick up. Again, it is obviously an extremely difficult time for Roman Reigns and his entire family, so in no way, shape, or form am I trying to be disrespectful in saying that maybe WWE could use them in a storyline. I'm just saying that we could see it take on a different meaning given everything that has happened. So I want to hear from you guys. Do you like the fact that the Ula Fala is being presented as important as it is? Because again, as I said earlier in the video, I'm not a big fan of when they use something like this to be a part of a storyline and something that has this much impact on the storyline. And everything that has happened recently with the unfortunate passing of the Wild Samoans, I think that the Ula Fala could just have a more significant impact than what we really think if WWE wants to go that way, and they obviously do it in a respectful way. So that's going to do it for this video here. I do hope you enjoyed it. If you did enjoy it, hit the like button. If you really enjoyed it, feel free to hit the subscribe button. It would really mean a lot to me. As always, down below in the description is our Linktree link. There you will find all of our social media pages. I highly suggest going and checking out our X page. Over on X, we do updates on every Monday Night Raw, Friday Night SmackDown, and all of the PLEs. And overall, I want that to be a place for wrestling fans like myself to go and talk about wrestling if you don't have anybody to talk to about pro wrestling. So if that does apply to you, maybe go swing by the X page for a Monday Night Raw or a Friday Night SmackDown, or maybe you want to chime in when we cover Bash in Berlin coming up. So again, that is going to do it for this video here. I hope you enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more content coming in the future. We'll see you next time.